Imagine someone wires you $100,000 right now, today. It's sitting in your bank account. What do you do? Do you open your brokerage app? Do you hit that buy button and put all the money into the market this afternoon? Or do you set up a schedule, maybe thinking $10,000 a month for the next 10 months and ease your way into this slowly? That tension right there, lump sum versus dollar cost averaging, is one of the most common, most anxiety inducing questions that I get in personal finance. And in 2026 specifically, with the market doing what it's been doing over the last couple of years, it feels more urgent than ever. I've seen smart, very disciplined investors completely freeze at this exact decision. And today I want to settle it with no opinions, but with data. And by the end, I'm going to give you the simple framework that I operate by so you know exactly what to do with your money. So let's go ahead and get into it. First, let's make sure we're speaking the exact same language, because I see some of these terms really thrown around very loosely all the time. Lump sum investing is exactly what it sounds like. Very simplified. You are deploying all of your capital at once in a single transaction. If you have that $100,000, you are investing $100,000 today. That's it. That easy. Dollar cost averaging, or DCA, if you're unfamiliar, means spreading that same $100,000 across regular purchases over a set period. For instance, in this example, we use $10,000 a month for the next 10 months. You could do $5,000 every 2 weeks. The exact schedule is up to you. But the point is, you stay partial in cash while the rest of it is deployed gradually on a set schedule. Now, here's the distinction that is really important between these. Dollar cost averaging is used as a strategy. We talk about strategies, we talk about systems on this channel a lot. Investing a set portion of each paycheck is something you already do, and most people naturally do this through a 401k plan. That's automatic and it's great and it works incredibly well. But the dollar cost average we're talking about today is a very conscious choice to delay investing versus a large sum of money investing. That's a different animal, and the data treats it differently. Okay, now the data. This is where a lot of people need to get a reality check. The most cited survey comes from Vanguard. They looked at a rolling 12-month period going all the way back to 1926. Looking at the US markets, the UK markets, and the Australia markets, they're finding lump sum investing beat dollar cost averaging roughly 2/3 of the time. So think about that for a minute. 2/3 of the time, the person who went all in lump sum investing ended up with more money over a 12-month period than the person that actually spread it out. The longer you look, 18 months, 24 months, the gap generally favored lump sum investing even more and at a higher percentage. Why? Because markets go up a majority of the time. On average, stocks gain value over an extended amount of time. Every day you're sitting on cash, every day you're not investing, you're forfeiting the expecting returns in the market. It's not a question of whether markets will eventually go up, because historically they have. It's a question of whether you're on the bus or fully invested when that actually happens. So let me give you a real life example of this. If you had that $100,000 in January of 2020 and you lump summed it into the S&P 500, you would have watched it crater roughly 34% by March. So looking at just 3 months, it would have been gut-wrenching. But if you held that exact same amount, by the end of 2020, you would have been up for the year. By 2021, you would have been up substantially. Compare that to someone who would dollar cost average through 2020 out of fear. They missed a very big, significant chunk of the recovery because the money was still sitting in cash. It was waiting to be deployed. It was sitting on the sidelines. The data is clear of one thing: time in the market beats timing the market. I know you've heard that 1,000 different times, but research over and over and over keeps proving that exact same case. But wait, if lump sum wins 2/3 of the time, what about that other third? Because the other third is real and it can make a real case for dollar cost averaging with a serious argument. Now, when we think of dollar cost averaging, this is absolutely going to win when markets are in a prolonged decline or right before we see a significant correction in the market. So if you had lump sum at a peak and then the market went down 30% for, let's say, the next 18 months, the dollar cost averaging investor would be buying cheaper and cheaper and cheaper all the way down that rabbit hole and come out absolutely ahead. Now, specifically in 2026, there are some legitimate reasons to be cautious with the market. Valuations in large cap US stocks are really historically elevated. There's an ongoing really uncertainty when it comes to the central bank. Geopolitical risks are elevated. There's a threat of war, and AI is reshaping entire industries in a way that is very hard to price into the market. No one knows exactly what that next 12 months is going to look like. But here's the honest truth about the dollar cost averaging in an uncertain environment. It's not actually about the math, it's a lot more about the psychology. The reason sophisticated investors choose the dollar cost average like me isn't because they think it won't produce those higher returns. It's because to reduce the regret that you can have if you go all in one day, putting that $100,000 in, and the market drops 25% the next day, the emotional damage of that experience from the sleepless nights, the second guessing, can lead to much possible outcomes, including selling at the bottom. Dollar cost averaging, honestly, is an insurance policy against your own behavior. You pay a small statistical premium, and in exchange, you get a much smoother psychological ride. For some people, especially with money that they don't want to lose emotionally, the trade-off is 100% worth it. And with all that said, I want to still push back on the fear-based case for dollar cost averaging because honestly, I think it leads a lot of people astray. The argument is waiting for market looks expensive, so I'm going to hold the cash. Let's go ahead and wait for a better entry point. Sounds very rational. Actually, something I heard yesterday. The problem, almost nobody actually executes the plan accordingly. Studies on investors have really consistently showed that people that wait for the dip don't buy at the dip. They wait for more confirmation. They wait for the market once it's already recovered. They're waiting for the next dip and then end up permanently underinvested or not investing at all, which is kind of crazy. There's the most famous stat. If you're invested in the S&P 500 over the last 20 years, but you missed just the 10 best trading days over those last 20 years, your returns would be cut in half. They would be cut by 50% in comparison to someone who stayed fully invested for the entire 20 years. 10 days out of more than 5,000 days in the entirety. The best days usually come right after the worst days that we see. The recoveries feel scary to buy into when we see it. Now, there's also a opportunity cost that we have, an argument people really ignore right now. Yes, cash in a high yield savings account can earn you around 4 to 5%. That's what we're seeing, possibly even a little bit lower in 2026. It sounds nice until you realize the long-term average return of the stock market is closer to 10%. Every month, your dollar cost averaging, the portion still in cash, still underperforming by roughly 5% of the market over 10 months across $100,000. That is a very meaningful drag that you can see in that portfolio. The data says invest, time in the market wins, uncertainty is always present, and the price of the expected returns. So here's where I land, guys, with dollar cost averaging and lump sum. This is where, and honestly, most thoughtful investors end up at. It is somewhat of a hybrid approach. So we take that $100,000, invest 60 to 70% immediately. That is going to be our big lump sum we're putting in there today, this week, today, if we had the money. The data says that right now, for the majority of the market conditions, you are going to be capturing most of the expected benefit of that lump sum invested. Take the remaining 30 to 40% and deploy it equally over the next 3 to 6 months. Not 10 months. It could be stretching that out too long. 3 to 6 months is a reasonable runway that gives you psychological comfort, some downside protection if the market does pull back, and it doesn't leave you out in the market long enough to significantly hurt the outcome that you have. One of the other nuances about this, you have to know what you're investing in and not just when you're investing. If you're going into broad index funds, total market, let's say like a VTI, S&P 500 like a VOO, the case for lump sum investing becomes much stronger because diversification within the S&P 500 is already baked in. Now, if you're going into a very narrow sector, let's say, or even a single stock, a lot more caution has to be there in staging. Makes sense when it comes to the company. Also remember taxes. If the money is going to a taxable account like it does for me, consider whether you have capital losses or harvest gains against, or whether the income for the year is going to change your calculation when it comes to paying those taxes. Talk to a financial advisor if you're moving large sums of money. This video is totally educational, not personal finance advice. Now, of course, let me make your decision super concrete. There are 3 very simple questions when it comes to the framework when it comes to fit you. Question number 1, if this investment drops 30% in the next month and stays down for the next year, how long would you hold it or would you sell immediately? If the answer is I'd probably sell, choose dollar cost averaging. It is going to take a lot of the emotional aspect out of there. Reducing the entry price will reduce your risk of panic selling when it is a loss. Now, there's no shame in this at all. You have to know yourself and you have to know your level of risk and investment skill that you have. Question number 2, is this money that you could reconstruct if it were gone for, let's say, the next 5 years? If you need the $100,000 for a house or down payment, neither strategy is right. This is money you should not be investing. This should not be in equities. And of course, when you start looking at investing, we are talking long-term wealth building capital that you're not going to touch for decades or possibly forever. Lump sum again wins with the strongest case statistically with the advancement. Now, question number 3, do you have a written plan? What is going to keep you if the market drops significantly from selling? If yes, you'll hold. Maybe you'll even buy more when you see it reduce. Lump sum, no, you'll improvise. Dollar cost averaging is going to give you that great entry point to really build the confidence when it comes to investing. 3 very different questions, and the answer tells you more than data could ever do it, because at the end of the day, the best strategy and the only strategy is one that you can execute when it comes to being stressful. Okay, so here's the bottom line. The math says lump sum investing will win a majority of the time. Your brain says dollar cost averaging feels a lot safer, and both are completely true. The right answer is going to be whatever one is going to keep you invested, keeping you calm and keeping you from doing something destructive when the market inevitably scares you, because it's going to happen. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good here. The investor who puts $100,000 into a dollar cost average schedule and sticks to it will most certainly outperform the investor who is just waiting for the right time and unfortunately never finds it. So now I want to hear from you. If you have that $100,000 to invest today in the market right now, what would you do? Are you going lump sum, dollar cost averaging, a hybrid approach? Drop your answer in the comments. And of course, guys, if you found this video helpful, definitely subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and leave a comment down below. I answer all of the comments that are down there, and I'll see you in the next one.